No, 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 no. No. Bam, bam, no, no. Bam, 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 bam. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let us begin. Excuse me. God. There we go. I was like, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Appreciate you guys having a good day. We got so much going on right now. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the revolution.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Papa Burlap, what's up? Here comes number 2. Are you calling me number 2? Or are you saying this is your second time here? Or are you saying you're about to take a number 2? There are so many things going on with that chat. It's hard to tell. I just got done with a long run outside. And I am revved up and ready to go. We have so many things to look at. We got some goofy videos. We got some silly videos. We got some serious videos. We have some real article. Yes. I think I asked you like 3 questions. But I just wanted to start off with this lovely segment. I saw this New York Post article being passed around of bizarre trend, men getting vasectomies on camera. You know, we have like such... What up, Giovanni? Hello, brother. You got that Monster Energy cranked up? Yeah. With my liquid death. Mineral water. Junk gets me so fired up. But I saw this stupid trend of men getting vasectomies on camera. Oh, God. I just hate the posturing of our culture of like what people
people need to see that I'm for the cause, that like I'm a good guy and stuff, and I need people to watch me get a vasectomy so these women know that I support their abortions and stuff.
We got some gentlemen in the chat. Guys, would you get a vasectomy on camera? I'm gonna go on a limb here and say no. For me,
that's a no, Bob.
That is a no, Bob. Living on a sinking ship has never been this much fun. Okay, yeah, good. I hope I make the sinking ship seem... It's like, I hope you come and hang out with me because I am like the classical musical instruments being played on the Titanic as it sinks. To quote Chevy Chase, Is there any money in it for me? That's true. I mean, if somebody gave me like $5,000, I'd probably put a vasectomy on there, but then you'd probably have a bunch of pictures on the internet that you don't want exposed. Just a thought. Somebody would be like,
there's Derek O'Shea's wiener. Get him.
We're going to take him down. But I just hate how we have like a culture of people that are just so quick to put their trauma, to put their harshest things on the internet just for clicks. Like, because that's all this is. I mean, what other reason is this? This is a posture. This is men trying to wink and nod at women saying, hey, if you have sex with me, the likelihood of you getting pregnant is almost nil. So, I'm good. Nathaniel, what up? Already had one? Nope. You know, you could pull an Office. You could go snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Back, forth. Oh, Michael Scott. Will he go down in infamy? This just came out a second ago. Biden administration readies another $800 million in additional security aid for Ukraine. An announcement will come as soon as Friday. Where's this money going to? I have no idea. The sad part is the dudes doing the vasectomy get laid probably twice a year. Papa Burlap. That is so true. Yeah, well, it just shows you how much they want to get laid. They're like willing to put their vasectomies on the camera of like,
look, guys, somebody tell somebody I'm doing this on camera.
But we're giving another $800 million to Ukraine. And again, I get so many people that get in a conversation with me, argue with me and stuff like that. It's like, well, it's going to Ukraine. Why would you not be for, like, this is dark, but why would you not be for this? It's because there's no accountability to where this money goes. Giovanni, 800 million sounds like money laundering. And exactly. Well, we don't know where this money is going, and they won't tell us. Even the politicians that vote on these bills, you will hear like people like Thomas Massey, Ron Paul, and stuff like that. Rand Paul, not Papa Ron. Always ask, is this money going to Lockheed? Is this going to any other defense form? I mean, is the money going to the black market? Are we just sending a bunch of equipment over and then they're reselling it to terrorists around the world, which has been proven to people have seen of like the rocket launchers and stuff being on some of the black markets and stuff like that are U.S. backed based. So this idea that we're just giving money to needy people who desire and need it is not true. People need to get out of their head that the government is a good entity. They aren't you and me. You and me see war going on and devastation. We want to help people, but we want to help people. We don't want to make our friends rich in the process. They also sit down to pee. Are you talking about the vasectomy guys? Hey, who doesn't like a good sit-down pee, though, every once in a while? Maybe late at night when you're tired and you're just like, I don't want to miss the pot tonight. I'm going to go ahead and sit down on this warm seat. That's kind of how I go. But what are your thoughts on the $800 million more? I'm unsure of what number we're even at. I know we've done a couple million here and there. I know we've done a bunch of weapons and stuff like that, but what number are we at? I like some of the tweets. I received tens of billions of dollars in foreign aid. You received food shortages, recession, record inflation, skyrocketing home prices. They are selling the weapons to the black market. Arms dealers probably. Like I said, I'm not going to say yes and I'm not going to say no because we have no idea. And no one in the media wants to look into it because if you look into it, it's just like COVID and stuff like that. These are untouchable subjects that you're not allowed to ask questions about. You have to just take it on the chin, take it wherever else, and that's the reality. All this money is sent to Ukraine and they are still losing. Yeah. What does this person say? They stopped being what the F, WTF several months back, and now it's just obvious some kind of payoff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you don't hear about it as much anymore and stuff like that, but another $800 million. You know, Biden talks about he's reducing the deficit and stuff like that and breaking inflation, and we'll get into some videos of them touting about how great of a job they're doing. It's just such a ridiculous statement. But then you have stuff like this, and you're like, well, okay, where did this money come from? Huh? So that's a new update. This video is being passed around as 20 criminals in Florida are charged with voter fraud. Here's Governor Ron DeSantis, a.k.a. future president of the United States.
Through our Office of Election Crimes and Security, in conjunction with the Attorney General's Office and FDLE, the state of Florida has charged and is in the process of arresting 20 individuals across the state for voter fraud.
No way, that's not possible. We have the safest and most secure elections ever. Everyone knows that.
Now, the majority of these people illegally voted in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, although there are other.
Oh, Miami? No way. Why would a Democrat-controlled city have voter fraud? That doesn't make any sense to me, guys. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. How'd that happen? Because usually they're pretty fair and honest about everything that's going on. Oh, there's probably another 20. Yeah, I think this is only the tipping point. But I'm glad that he's doing stuff like this because it makes people that want to commit voter fraud think twice, especially in places like Florida. Other places, you can probably get away with it. No one's going to look into it. But, Papa Ron, Papa Ron is looking into it.
Majority of these people illegally voted in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade, although there are others in other parts of the state. These folks voted illegally in this case, and there's going to be other grounds for other prosecutions in the future. They are disqualified from voting because they've been convicted of either murder or sexual assault, and they do not have the right to vote. They have been disenfranchised under Florida law, and Amendment 4 that passed specifically included people that have been convicted of sexual assault and homicide from being able to have an automatic restoration of their voting rights.
All right, they're criminals. I think that's like a debatable issue anyways about should criminals be allowed to vote? Sexual crimes? Probably not. I can't wait for CNN to demand the presidential pardons for election. There'll be an election fortified. Time magazine will redo that same article. They'll just print and press. I don't know if you guys noticed today, but Brian's gone, guys. Brian Stelter is gone. Oh my God, that's so loud in my ear. Rest in peace, Brian Stelter. He will be missed on my program. He's so easy to critique. He's so easy to make fun of, especially because he thinks anybody that takes themselves so seriously and is clearly shouldn't be taken seriously. It's so ridiculous. But here's Brian Stelter. He's done. And I have a bunch of clips to load up to as we remember Brian Stelter. But, let's not forget there are people that are actually sad about Brian Stelter. I take the skeletons the way I take Brian Stelter's homosexuality deep. Oh, my God. Oh my God, Papa Burlap, you crazy. Let's not forget that, Steve, there are people out there that are crying about Brian Stelter. The one show on CNN I never missed was Reliable Sources with Brian Stelter. He has been an invaluable window into how the media covers itself. Today's CNN canceled it. I like some of these responses, like Cernovich, you're rich, hire Brian to run a podcast out of his home and it'll get the same amount of viewers. LOL. Rest in peace. Will Brian Stelter make a reappearance like Jeffrey Toobin ever? But I saw this video. Oh no, where's it? We'll go back to that. Where's my other video? Okay, here's my other, I saw this video passed around today, just commemorating Brian Stelter. And let's watch it together. We'll cry. We'll have a moment.
This brand new research by Gallup says American trust in the mass media is at its lowest point since 2016 and near a record low overall.
Jeff Zucker has announced his immediate resignation as the president of CNN. This comes amid an investigation into what Jeff Zucker calls a consensual relationship.
What happened and where CNN goes from here?
You were caught masturbating on camera. You since then have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right, sad to say.
The biggest media story this weekend, it's the firing of Chris Cuomo from this network, CNN. Late Wednesday, a lawyer contacted CNN with a sexual misconduct complaint about Cuomo.
Joining me now, the man who accused Don Lemon of sexual assault. His accuser claims Lemon started rubbing himself.
But the even bigger point, I think, is about what the press is. Is it produced by reporters or by repeaters? Repeaters are the talk radio shouters. They're on TV and radio telling the same story every day. President Trump.
President Trump. President Trump. 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 Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Telling the same story every day.
Repeaters are Twitter trolls who anonymously amplify propaganda and try to wear the rest of us down with their repetition.
January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th. January 6th.
January 6th.
The January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th.
Repetition.
The January 6th insurrection.
The insurrection.
insurrection.
The insurrection.
The insurrection. The insurrections.
Insurrection.
Insurrection.
Repetition. Repetition.
Repetition.
So much of what they are repeating is from reporters, from the people paid to figure out what is true.
A widely held conspiracy theory that the coronavirus was created in a Chinese laboratory.
Dr. Fauci, thank you for keeping it straight. Thank you for fighting the good fight.
We know the science. We know that masks work.
What we have now is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is really now a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is now a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is now a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is now a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Much of the dossier has been corroborated.
What does Putin have on Trump? Has Trump been compromised?
But it does look like that young man to me is taunting the Native American Vietnam vet, and he's in his face.
There is no evidence of any wrongdoing by either Hunter or Joe Biden.
There's no evidence of wrongdoing by either Joe or Hunter Biden.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha.
But this isn't about ideology.
The biggest terror threat in this country comes from radicals on the far right, primarily white men.
As a white woman, aware of my own privilege in this country, I am so angry, and I can't even begin.
Now, too many see the protests as the problem. No, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets.
A few moments later.
We're here inside CNN Center. We just threw something on fire, Chris. Something's on fire.
Nick, you all right?
We're getting out of here, Chris.
All right.
We are not fake news. We are real news.
And now the two faces of Hillary Clinton are coming out. The fact through WikiLeaks that she says one thing and...
Oh, no. All right, let's see if we can get Congressman Collins back. Obviously, we just lost the satellite feed. That sucks.
Routinely at these rallies, we are hearing chants of CNN sucks.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in...
Oh, it is so gratifying watching CNN crumble. There's nothing better. It just, it's almost too good. It's like this clip. That is literally CNN in a nutshell. So many of their top people are gone because they put out crap and everyone sees through it. Instead, they blame everyone else. They blame Trump supporters. They blame white men, the conservatives, they blame podcasts like me, what you're watching right now. They love to go against these people. CNN is your most trusted news source, or else. Not CNN. CNN is done, man. They are done. I think I got one more, couple more clips of Brian Stelter. Oh, this clip of Alex Jones talking about Brian Stelter is almost too good, as we remember the segment we call Remembering Brian Stelter. This is Alex Jones talking about Brian Stelter. I don't know if you've heard this. I heard this a long time ago, and I just thought, oh my God, this is so great.
It's Brian Stelter. There it is. Oh, my God. I mean, that is a horror movie cover. Seriously, he is scarier looking than It the Clown. I mean, would you let your children anywhere near that psychopath? I mean, that is a psychopath right there. I mean, look at him. God. Oh, I mean, it cries out, danger, danger, alert, alert. I am a scumbag. I am filth. I am your enemy. I would literally not be able to finish my dinner if somebody walked over and talked to me that looked like these two guys.
The next Joker, maybe.
They're not just lying anti-American scumbags that want to run us all on the ground because they're little men. They're pieces of crap. They think they're better than everybody. That's what it's about. It's a spirit of evil, and we must break them. Oh. I've tried to do joke photos like this.
Have you ever wondered what Brian Stelter would look like when he eats a bowl of oatmeal? I have, and it's downright. Why are you wondering what he looks like while eating his oatmeal?
I've tried to do joke photos like this to look disingenuous, and I can make any face I want to. I can't pull it off because the eyes.
I want to party with Alex Jones. Me too.
It's always in the eyes.
It is my goal to one day be on the Alex Jones show. I want to be around that crazy energy, and I hope he doesn't mind me laughing about 99% of the time I'm there. He is hilarious. He's such a showman.
Oh my gosh. Oh, hell on earth. He wants to run your life. He wants to control every aspect of your life because he knows.
The montage with these like these picture stills of Brian Stelter and just like some really unflattering shots is just, the combination is almost too good to be true.
He is a cowardly, degenerate sack of anti-human trash. I pledge before my Heavenly Father that that I will resist them every way I can. These people are the literal demon spawn of the pit of hell. Look at him. And you know what? He is better than you if you keep letting him run your life. He runs your kids. He runs the schools. He runs the banks. This guy, this spirit, this smiling, leering devil that thinks you can't see what he is.
Anti-human trash.
He is your enemy. Period. All the narcissistic, devil-worshipping filth. I see you, enemy. I see you, enemy. 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 You are my enemy. And I swear total resistance to you with everything I've got. Disingenuous, fake, false, broke back, twisted, a defiler, a betrayer, a backstabber, a devil.
I'm gonna spit my drink out.
You will pay. Yeah, you think I don't see
I
your
do
face,
love this
scum?
guy.
You
He's
think
so
I don't
funny.
See you, Stelter. I see you. You understand me? I know what you think of me and my family. I see you right back. You understand that? You understand that, Stelter?
I can't wait for Brian Stelter to start up a YouTube channel and see it immediately fail. Yeah, CNN plus. CNN plus size models.
Stelter.
Oh my God.
You will fall. You will not bring humanity down. God is going to destroy you. Get him off the screen. Oh, God, they're so evil. Just please, God, free us from them.
Oh.
They're drunk on our children's blood, for
Dude,
God's
Alex
sake.
is a freaking gem, dude. Oh, he's a freaking gem. Just is so funny. He's such a showman. I pray that one day I have like a quarter of the showmanship he does. It's just always so funny. All right. I think I have one more clip of Brian Stelter. Oh yeah, Brian Stelter talking. Oh yeah, this was Alex Jones sounds like he's possessed by a demon, yet he sounds kinder than Brian Stelter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example. So this tweet was being passed around as people will remember just how insane Brian Stelter was in some of his commentary, and not only that, some of his takes. And here he is with a tweet saying, "If any First Lady disappeared, you would want to know where she is. Here's our CNN discussion of where has she been?" And during that time, it was actually the time that First Lady Melania was actually missing because she was recovering from kidney surgery. So... this is why you don't do hot takes without knowing the information. It's best to just be reserved sometimes so you don't take massive L's like this. But he was a reliable source. And then here's another video of Brian Stelter talking to 8th graders to teach them about news literacy. Just
any of you feel like you
so good. He's just a dude that I like me. I don't take myself seriously. You can make fun of me all you want. People make fun of me all the time, call me all kinds of crazy names. I don't care. But this guy didn't like that, and he like took it very seriously. And those people, they're just so arrogant and narcissistic. They can't help. Like, it's hard for me not to mock them because of how ridiculous of a human beings they are. But here he is talking to 8th graders.
Do any of you feel like you try to correct friends or family now based on what you've learned? Mm-hmm. Really? Yeah. You all feel like every student needs to be learning news literacy?
Yeah. Yes.
Do any of you feel like you try?
Do you try to correct your friends and family about what's going on in the world with stuff from my show? Because you should. And I feel like this tweet perfectly summed up how I feel about reliable sources. This is from Zaid Jelani. I was always confused by reliable sources because I imagine it was a media criticism show, but the host mostly defended the media against criticism. It was constantly like them being shills for whatever establishment, their friends, and everything like that. It was just too much. Giovanni, one of the greatest newsletters I see. No one knows what it is, and that's the point. But that was us remembering Brian Stelter. He will go down in infamy as being the most ridiculous human being to ever be a host. I can't think of any worse news anchor in my life. I really can't. I know Chris Cuomo's terrible, but Brian Stelter, I mean, there's a reason you're easily mocked. Is because your takes are just so ridiculous. And you take yourself way too seriously, and you try to be above a reproach. You're just like, none of this is criticism. This is all reliable. And it was always so easily debunked, so easily critiqued, so easily taken down, and shouldn't have been taken seriously. Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers. Yeah, but those guys are late night guys. I don't consider those two comedians. Not by long. Seth Meyers used to be okay on SNL when he did Weekend Update sometimes, but now he's just the worst. And Stephen Colbert used to be okay on The Daily Show and then some of the old Colbert stuff, but now he's just the worst. It's just like, or like Kids in the Hall and stuff like that. You know what the sad part is, Papas? I know Stephen Colbert. I know his family because I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, and I used to, he's just a different person. And I wouldn't even consider like talking to him if I ever saw him again. He's just not a good person anymore. Anybody that is willing to sell their soul out like that is just not a good person and not worth your time. It's just not. So there goes Brian Stelter. Rest in peace, old friend. Rest in peace. But let's go right into some more news. As I don't know if you saw the Sam Harris. Those of you who don't know who Sam Harris is, he's a very prominent leftist podcaster. He's like known for having well-articulated arguments, critiquing conservatism and people on the right and stuff like that. But he used to be a part of the intellectual dark web back in the day when COVID was at its finest. But then they kind of kicked him out because he got too part of the regime. But here he is telling us exactly. This Sam Harris clip is awesome because he tells you exactly what you already think in your head. He just confirms it about how lunatic, how far gone the left is in their ideology, and they don't care if the worst truth is true. They will do anything to get Donald Trump out of office. Poor thing, shilling for Brian. There's no such thing as an intellectual leftist. Isn't that an oxymoron? That's pretty funny. I like that. All right, here's Sam Harris.
I mean, Hunter Biden, at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared, right? It's like, there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right? Or China. It is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like there's just it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right? Now that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account. Like that's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely it was. Absolutely. Right. But I think it was warranted. Right. And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
I feel like I'm this guy with the glasses, just like Is this really? Are you really saying this? But this is so much what people think. They have such Trump derangement syndrome. They don't care if there are children's dead bodies on this laptop, and Biden was associated with it in any capacity, which is not true. Okay, YouTube, relax. Everyone, just relax. But they hate Trump so much and think he is the worst thing on earth. They will just make up whatever story possible and still vote for the other person, despite the other person being horrible. It's like they would be more willing to have somebody like Jeffrey Epstein in the president's office than Donald Trump ever again, because they have some kind of fabricated ideology of like who he is and what he represents. Awaken JP uploaded a video on how to repel the FBI from your own. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Tell them to go home without a search warrant. I don't know.
Sam, I'm sorry.
That particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move on, but you've just said
it.
something I really struggle with there, which is
the kids in the basement.
Fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy. You're saying you are content with a left-wing conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically re-elected as president.
Well, no, I'm content. Well, but the thing is, it's just not left wing, right? So Liz Cheney is not left wing, right? Liz Cheney is doing everything in her power.
You're content with a conspiracy to prevent somebody being democratically elected.
But there's nothing. Conspiracy. It's not. It was a conspiracy out in the open. But it doesn't matter if it was. It doesn't matter what part's conspiracy, what part's out in the open. I mean, I think it's like if people get together and talk about what should we do about this phenomenon. You know, if it's like if there was an asteroid hurtling toward Earth, and we got in a room together with all of our friends and had a conversation about what we could do to deflect its course, right? Is that a conspiracy? You know, like some of them.
It's an easy way to understand TDS. Drink about 2 liters of cough syrup and squint as hard as you can. Exactly. But no, part of me sees this interview, mainline it for quicker effect. Yeah. Part of me sees this interview and is encouraged by the honesty, because these are the type of things that like I think about throughout the day, that it only makes sense logically that these people on the left vote this way and believe this way, because they try to make up all these other stories, but he at least is honest enough to say, I don't care if there's dead bodies, I'm not voting for Trump because of some kind of BS crap that he just makes up in his head. Or like some kind of, the boogeyman scenario, the monster in the closet, the monster under my bed, daddy, come help me. Because nothing makes sense. They keep trying to lock him down for things. I know we're going to get to a little bit of the FBI stuff in a second, some new details about Mar-a-Lago and stuff like that, but like they just keep going after him. And I'm not a huge MAGA guy, okay? I don't care if it's Ron DeSantis, Trump, somebody else that's good. I don't care. I'm a huge ideas guy. I want freedom and stuff like that. That's what I want. And I want small government. I want to abolish every 3-letter word agency. I just think they're useless. So I don't care, but this is just insane. This is when you know you've lost yourself mentally, and just like Papa Bear was saying, that a leftist intellectual, isn't that an oxymoron? Exactly. This is not an intellectual statement. I have a feeling those two guys are going to get into a car accident if they talk too much, probably. You mean by the Clintons? This lady pretty much sums it up right here, though. Wow, you can actually watch Sam Harris self-destruct his career in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Taking down the New York Post laptop article, that's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presence to Donald Trump. Absolutely it was, but I think it was warranted. When people talk about like civil war, they talk about like feeling like there's no hope, there's no that even if you keep voting, you're never gonna win, and we're only gonna get closer to civil war and fighting each other. It's because of stuff like this. It's like you tell people that 2 + 2 = 4, and they say no, it's 5. You freaking idiot! And that's where we're at right now. And And that's why things are just constantly escalating, and the left continues to escalate, because I only see people on the right. Yes, there are some people on the right that are so close-minded that they won't have a conversation, but they are far and few between in comparison to the people on the left. Nowadays, they tragically hang themselves with a massive shot. Yeah. Oh, wow. Jeez. I almost said that out loud. Yeah, the shotgun thing with the Clintons. So this is just insane. But it's refreshing to hear honesty, I guess. I don't. That's the only positive thing I can think of it. But this is why we're at where we're at, and this is why you come to channels like mine, because when I go through things, when I go through stories and stuff like that, I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to learn new things. I'm happy to potentially change my mind on some things, because if an argument is so good, why would I not want to change? If something is such a good idea and it is intellectually sound, why would I not want to change my mind? What kind of idiot is so entrenched in their ideology that even when they're proven wrong over and over and over and over again, they would just go, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to still believe this. Like, it's just... But this is where we're at in this country, because the pillars of societal foundation of truth has been knocked down, and now people are questioning everything and everyone to the point where they have created fabricated realities in their head, like Sam Harris, of just like, I don't care what happens, we have to not allow this evil dictator Trump to come back in office, because he was basically Hitler in disguise. It's just so moronic and stupid and intellectually dishonest, and it just makes people, it just furthers my understanding that so many people on the left, this is very cultish and very religious, and that they just believe these things not out of truth, but because of their faith dictates so. And I don't know, it's depressing to me that this person's considered an intellectual, or that's where like our intellectuals are. It's just shills for the you fill in the blank. Now, it's just crazy times. All right, next. Okay, I don't know if you saw this being passed around, but here is a new IRS training video. IRS agents with guns. Remember, they're just going after the rich and just buying a bunch of ammo. That's where we are in 2022. Exactly, Giovanni.
What is this? We're the IRS. You're under arrest. You're going to jail, buddy.
Most people don't.
Hey, you're under arrest. You're going to jail, buddy. Get out of here.
What is this? We're the IRS. You're under arrest. You're going to jail, buddy.
Most people don't even know that the IRS has criminal investigators who use their accounting skills and their authority as a special IRS agent to help solve tax crimes.
We are the only agency that can work investigations regarding tax evasion and other tax-related.
This guy looks like such a dork. I'm sorry, he just does. Good guy, though. I trust him with my taxes.
Offenses.
The Adrian Project has been helping advertise the
Dad
IRS
training.
special agents CI's roles for the past 15 years by visiting different schools around the nation.
It was named after Adrian University because that was the first place it happened at. There were a public information officer in Detroit, Michigan, who came up with this.
This is only the second time this project has taken place in Utah, and Dixie State was selected for one of them. 31 accounting.
That guy sounded like he'd be at a home at a local leather. Oh my God.
Students and those studying forensics or criminal justice took the afternoon to discover other options where they can use their skills.
Tax fraud, where he wasn't reporting as much taxes as.
I love people when they use a microphone for the first time and the microphone's like 20 feet away. Like, put it in your mouth.
You should have.
If you have an accounting degree paired with criminal justice, that makes you very marketable in this line of work.
Sworn in IRS.
If you're into like numbers and then you have like criminal history degree and criminal justice, you're very marketable.
IRS criminal investigators can conduct surveillance and undercover operations after finding what appears to be tax evasion. To become an agent, hirees must go through 6 months of special training.
We have regular trainings in firearms, building entry, so it encompasses, it's a mix of being behind the computer, but also being out in the field, doing interviews, doing search warrants, or making arrests.
This video looks very middle classy. I thought they were going after the rich.
IRS investigators also work closely with the Department of Justice if they need warrants or seizures of items.
We've seen many Ponzi schemes where the individual at the top of the scheme will be driving around a very nice sports car or a luxury vehicle, and he purchased that car with the proceeds of the fraud. And when we can go in and we can prove that that asset was purchased with criminal proceeds, we're allowed by law to seize those assets.
Under this scenario, these students...
Can you imagine that guy coming to a criminal's house?
Excuse me, sir. I'm here to steal back your asset.
Oh, God. You didn't actually... It looks like a dork convention. Yeah, exactly. This is like dorkier than Comic-Con. This is like the OG dorks, the number dorks. It's just...
I'm gonna come get your assets. You didn't do your turbo taxes right, and I know you're too poor to hire a lawyer and fight it. So we're gonna go ahead and take your old piece of crap truck.
It's just it's just crazy. All right, next story. Dun 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 dun. Next story. Oh, here we go. We're talking about Trump. Judge poised to release parts of the Mar-a-Lago raid document. Just parts. You guys can have a few parts here and there. We're not going to give you the whole thing. The IRS just got their budget quadrupled. You think they would hire a more commanding guy to interview? I know. You think they would hire like an old like Navy SEAL or Secret Service, like just anybody. Anybody with shoulders to do an interview. We're here to enforce the law. Also, do you play Magic? Oh my God, that.
No, we don't play Magic together. We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh man, I used to have a roommate in college that played Dungeons and Dragons till like 3 a.m. every night. It was obnoxious. Judge poised to release parts of key Mar-a-Lago document. A Florida judge ruled Thursday that portions of the affidavit underpinning the FBI search of former President Donald Trump, blah, 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 to be made public despite objections from the Justice Department. And why would they object? I mean, if there's real crimes to be committed, they need to be taken out. The West Palm Beach judge, Bruce Reinhart, who's totally based, signed off on the search for the 45th president's home. Psych. That guy's the worst. I mean, he's connected with Jeffrey Epstein, so I don't know if there is a conspiracy about that, but it definitely does seem to line up, and it's very weird that judge used to represent Mr. Epstein. So what will we find out about this secret affidavit? Are we going to get? I mean, what are we going to find out about what they had too? Maybe maybe the old pictures of Trump peeing on models. I've been waiting for that since day one. But here's CNN talking about it, of course. So hopefully we'll get some good sound bites from this.
All too well. Do you think any part of the affidavit should be revealed?
No, and I'd be surprised if it was. In any other case not involving a...
No, because the federal government shouldn't be held accountable for their actions, and you should just trust everything they do. God.
Former president of the United States, I'd expect the judge to rule immediately at the conclusion of the presentations from both sides. He may in this case because of the significant nature of the case.
Yeah, the golden shower tapes. I'm waiting for those. What the frick? That was always the funniest thing. I was like, what? Golden shower? Come on.
Nature of the case, want to go and draft an opinion and make sure all the T's are crossed and I's dotted, but ordinarily I would not expect to have it released, and I would expect to have an order or decision out of the judge during this hearing, but we'll see what happens.
Peter, I want to stick with you for 1 second because, as you probably know all too well, do you think any part of the affidavit should be...
Oh, sorry. Mike, I feel like I just heard that. Okay, and then they continue talking about it. All right, here we go.
Peter, I want to stick with you for 1 second because these 20 for more than a
Where are we
year
at?
is how soon.
30 seconds in.
Well, some clip, maybe some edited
this
clip, maybe
skinny
some
already.
doctored clip. We know that former President Trump has used doctored clips and put them out before. How soon before some portion of the FBI agents showing up at Mar-a-Lago will be used in a fundraising appeal or in a campaign ad? And then what would that
Think about the audacity of that question about why wouldn't Trump use any kind of the footage for his campaign? It's such an obvious win. You clearly have overpowered, power-hungry politicians and the federal government overreaching with Trump, just like they do to a lot of average U.S. citizens like you and me, as they raid people with, and then they break down doors, and there's no rules for them, or they sleep with informants and all that stuff that comes out. And Governor Whitmer, we go into that. God, that is like a freaking bombshell of a revelation of what happened with Governor Whitmer. But why wouldn't Trump use that? If I was an elected politician, if I was going to be running for president next, I would definitely use that and say, look, this is what my opponent does because he's a fascist prick. What? It's such an obvious win. And she's like, he better not use it because I know that we messed up. When I say me, people on my side of the aisle, we messed up big, but do not unseal that affidavit, you son of a gun. And don't use any of these clips. And Trump shouldn't be allowed to talk about this raid because it was an accident, all right? As Morning Joe, MSNBC, said yesterday, or 2 days ago, the church makes mistakes. People make mistakes. And the FBI can make a mistake. He can raid an entire house of the former president. It can be just a mistake. It's not an actual thing that we should worry about. As a proud Michigander, I can say with full confidence that my parents still think that the Witless was almost... Oh, my God. Really? They really think that she was almost kidnapped? That is crazy. The SSS never lost. They just transferred over... Look over Operation... Yeah. Operation Paperclip, Mr. NASA himself. Yeah, I know all about Operation Paperclip. Or we can just go, where is it, Argentina, where all the Nazis live? Is Hitler still alive? I don't know.
do inside the FBI if some of that video shows up in there, Peter?
Well, I think, agents go into searches with the assumption that they're being watched, that what they're doing may be made public. So, my main concern is one of physical security for the agents and other personnel involved in the search. If these are images where people can be identified, where they can have a name identified along with their image, that obviously in the context of what we're looking at now with threats to the judge, with threats to FBI personnel and officers.
Okay, so we're supposed to worry about FBI agents, but if it's like an officer on the street and he does something wrong, like we're allowed to just destroy him and his family the rest of their lives. But no, we need to worry about the FBI. If they mess up, I need to worry about some of these pictures that are coming out. These people, these threats. These people make up these fabricated threats. I don't know anybody on the right that is like doing actual terrorism. It's all on the left. So I'm just...
that really heightens the risk to those agents and other personnel who took part in that search. From an optics perspective, Trump and his camp are talking a big game about releasing it, but I have some question about whether an average American viewer watching FBI agents walk out.
I seem to recall that CNN and all they demanded that they see the faces of the Rittenhouse. Yeah, exactly, Papa. Good call out. That's why I like this community. That's why this show, you are as part of the show as much as I'm a part of the show. This isn't the Derek O'Shea only show. This is we're in this together. Good freaking point. I mean, they're CNN, all these agencies are happy to dox every single person they disagree with and go after them and just wink and nod at people like Antifa, like, hey, you guys are doing a great job. Just kidding. God. They're doing our bidding. They're useful idiots, so we won't yell at them. They are kind of scary, though. Those crazy white kids they have so much teenage angst. We don't know what to do with them. But Nick Sandman. Let's never forget Nick Sandman getting in the face of the veteran from the Vietnam War, the Native American. He got in his face, and let's dox him and all his little high school buddies. Oh crap, he's suing the bejesus out of us now. Like this idea that we need to be worried about FBI agents. Give me a break. Those people will be just fine. And if their names get released, people on the right, no one assumes that a single agent is running the whole thing. We know who's in charge of these things. So people on the right aren't going to divert their eyes to each individual agent. It's just, that's too idiotic, but that's what they think. They're like, these Trump supporters are so stupid. They'll probably go dox every single name. They'll look them up and go after them. Like, no, that's what Antifa does. But as always, the people on the left always, they always accuse you of doing exactly what they already are doing. That's always what is happening. Whatever they accuse you of doing, that's what they're doing. It's just, it's like a narcissistic, a physical abuser in a relationship of just like trying to emotionally and mentally manipulate you so that you believe that your beating that you're getting taken for is your own damn fault. And you need to just take it like a man. We just live in such Orwellian crazy times. I just feel like we're each subjects of some kind of weird psychological event of the day.
Trump and his camp are talking a big game about releasing it, but I have some question about whether an average American viewer watching FBI agents walk out with box after box after box of highly classified information, whether that in fact is an image that is going to serve Trump very well. But he's proven very adept at fundraising just off the initial fact of the search. So I would not put anything past him. I think we are going to see some sort of images out of it. I'm certain we are unlikely to see all of the footage, but we'll see what comes to pass. And the final thing, if
Antifa and Black Lives Matter are the new Bolsheviks. Oh, geez, yeah. Actually, I have a story about Black Lives Matter towards the end of the show. So
the FBI and DOJ were not aware of all the different cameras around Mar-a-Lago. This will certainly give them insight if things like that are released. So, anybody's guess, but I would put nothing past Trump when it comes to raising money.
They really try to make Trump to be out like this Disney-esque evil villain. Just like, how dare he, hold us accountable to everything that's going on. Speaking of freaking shills, let's just finish up this week in shills for the media. Here's Chris freaking, what's his name? Chris Hayes. That's it. Talking about, actually, things are pretty good. What's going on in the Biden administration. So if you disagree with him, it's because you're the worst person on earth and you're a white supremacist.
Is America better off today than they were 2 years ago?
No. Now that's a classic opposition party question, right? Opposition parties, midterm elections, and opposition parties across the world, right?
I love when people, when they're trying to argue their point, will stop and go, right. Right is the new Okay, right. Okay. And I especially love when people start to break down arguments and they start at the most obvious talking point. The obvious point is like, we all breathe oxygen, right? So based on that, ended the show with a mega shill. I'm not done. I still have a lot more clips to go. Do not worry. We have a lot more news to go, but I just saw this clip and it's making me laugh and we need to laugh.
They are running against the party in power and they want to generally turn those elections into referendum on the party in power. But I saw that clip and what was striking about Kevin McCarthy asking it last week in his somewhat mangled syntax is that
the poor bastard looks like he needs to take a dump like his life depended on it.
I don't think he or his speechwriter really thought it through. Because the answer is pretty obviously yes. Yeah. Yup. We are better off today than we were 2 years ago. Do you remember what the summer of 2020 was like?
Oh, you mean the summer of love?
Tonight, the fired police officer charged with murder in the death of George Floyd. The mass protests coast to coast, the scenes in New York, Atlanta, Houston, in Denver, an SUV plowing into a protester. That major show of force outside the White House. Police backed by National Guard firing rubber bullets on peaceful protesters. Moments later, President Trump walking out to a nearby church for a photo with a Bible. The plunge on Wall Street, the worst day for stocks in 3 months as fears grow of a second wave of COVID-19. The staggering new coronavirus record, the U.S. topping 50,000 cases, new cases, the highest daily death toll in months as the COVID pandemic reaches dangerous new proportions. The economic disaster almost
God, I love how MSNBC, they just don't care. They're trying to pin all of this on Trump. That's just only idiots believe that.
1.5 million more Americans file for unemployment.
Guys, that was 3 months. Okay, we gave you 3 months. We could have done a monologue an hour long. On that.
Okay. Overnight.
From May to July, the virus was raging. Vaccines still many months away. The country was in mourning and in angst.
The virus was raging, even though more people have died under the President Biden. We're not going to talk about that, you son of a gun. Shut your mouth.
Over the death of George Floyd, we had a president.
Trump actually killed George Floyd. Everyone knows that. Everyone and their mom knows that Trump killed George Floyd. It's very common knowledge. Keep going, Chris Hayes.
Who was running around the country holding super spreader events, getting Secret Service agents sick.
He was running around getting God. I just love how much of actors these people are.
Telling people to inject themselves with bleach. The entire world.
Which wasn't true, but continue.
Shut down, taking a lot of the economy with it. We lost more than 10 million jobs in America. There were miles-long lines at food banks around the country. People,
like right now,
people struggled to stay afloat and feed their families. And that
like
summer,
high inflation,
Americans took the street
recession,
in droves protesting the murder of George Floyd at the hands of police. Now, here we are. Is everything perfect now? No. But 2 years later, are things better? Yeah.
Yes. There are no protests that are destroying major cities everywhere. Thank God Biden's in office. God, so ridiculous. Those people are to blame for so much of what the corporate media is to blame for so much wrong in America today, and they just don't care. They'll double down. It doesn't matter what it takes. Here we go. Speaking of people that are just not totally queued up on what's going on, here are parents shocked about how much they have to spend on school supplies. Why is things so expensive, they ask.
These Chicago kids are getting free school supplies to get ready. The nonprofit Back to School America gave out more than 8,000 supply kits Wednesday.
People are telling me that they've lost their jobs, their home situation changed, they've lost their home.
Wait a minute. We just found out that things are better off than they were 2 years ago, according to Chris Hayes. So I don't know what's going on. Here we go. How to piss off a leftist. Step 1, ask them how things are better. Step 2, profit.
Home situation changed, they've lost their home.
CEO Matt Kurtzman says the need for the kits and the cost to create them has never been greater. What single product has gone up most in price?
Paper is the one product that is costing us the most money.
That's one reason their price for supplies has jumped 10%.
The prices have increased ridiculously.
Janila Costing, whose daughter's about to start first grade, says there's also sticker shock in stores.
For a few school supplies, you're easily going to spend around $70 or something.
Is this the most expensive back-to-school season you've seen?
It is for the parents and the teachers.
Oh,
Kelly
no, things are better off.
The classmate, a school supply store, and she says she can barely keep up with price hikes from suppliers.
It's hard because a lot of the companies have increased their prices alone in this calendar year 5 times.
Because who's spending $22 for pens? Me, every single day. Oh my gosh. I love it. People, you know, it's these type of people that vote for the Democrat Party constantly, and then they're like, yeah, it's these corporate people. They're the reason why prices are going up, not because of inflation or having to do with anything of like, I don't know, sending $800 million to Ukraine that's unaccounted for. $10 crayons, boy. The smart investment. That's a smart investment. Thank you. Thank you. Every single day. It's my hedge against Jim Cramer. All right. Speaking of like, people in major cities, I think, are getting tired of the crime. And what you hear on the left constantly is that it's just a right-wing talking point. But I constantly try to, on Monday, talk about how many people were murdered in Chicago, because I used to live in Chicago for a long time, and I worked with a lot of inner-city youth in Chicago. I tried to make a huge difference in their life. It was very tough, very hard. A lot of the boys that I worked with didn't have fathers in their home, or had fathers in prison and stuff like that. So it was very depressing, very sad. And so I have a particular heart for Chicago and the people of Chicago, not the politics. The politics are freaking terrible. Just horrible what goes on, and Lori Lightfoot is to blame for a lot of it. Rahm Emanuel is just as bad, maybe not as bad as Lori Lightfoot, but she is just the worst. And you're seeing in major cities more and more death and destruction as DAs just constantly let people out after violent crimes and stuff like that, especially if they fit a certain stereotype or a skin color and stuff like that. And they see it as compassion, they see it as empathy, but it's not. You can't allow your cities to be run like that, because then it affects the average everyday citizen. It's just such an obvious argument. I don't even feel like I need to argue it. I'm just saying it's sad that the inner city people are affected by the laws and the leaders in which they themselves have probably encouraged to run and also elect into office. But they lose out in the end. So my heart goes out to them, but you kind of reap what you sow. And so I hope this is like a wake-up call for so many people that live in these inner cities that, oh crap, maybe we do need a little bit more police officers. Maybe we do need a tough DA that if people get locked up for violent crimes, stay in jail instead of they're out the next day. It's just ridiculous. Frogfoot will save the day. Frogfoot. She looks like an alien to me. All right, but here's Philadelphia residents talking about the crime. Again, just sad.
Something has to give. Something has to give, because Philadelphia, I mean, everywhere you go, it's a problem, but Philadelphia is really getting out of hand.
Fear is growing in West Philly. Carmela Truel and her 8-year-old son Yasir walk on the same stretch of 57th Street where less than 24 hours earlier, 100 shots were fired.
100? It's to the point, I just want to take my son and go.
Sound like Beirut out here yesterday.
Hey, wait a minute. Only I can have a red beard, you son of a gun. Philly has rising crime. Quick, take away their guns. Exactly. Especially those law-abiding citizens. Just allow the criminals to have guns. That'll make things better, actually.
And I've never been to Beirut, but it sounded like Beirut out here yesterday.
So like a war zone?
Yes, exactly like a war zone.
Jamar Muhammad was selling merchandise nearby when the shooting happened. 5 victims just...
Whoa, where you get that merchandise, Jamal? That's so random. Where did you pick that up from? Okay. Beirut is probably safer. Yeah, true.
Happened. 5 victims just finished playing basketball at the Shepherd Recreation Center when they were shot in a drive-by shooting.
Something has to give.
That's so sad. I mean, when I used to work in Chicago, you would talk to people that live in the city, and they just couldn't understand why it's getting worse. And I wish there was more people on the right that would understand about campaigning in some of these inner cities, just having conversations with people. You would change entire inner cities. But too many people on the right, we have this mentality of like, just leave me alone mentality of like, that's the complete opposite of the Democratic Party. They're more willing to engage with people in conversation, get in the mud with other people, go door to door, ask people to fill out ballots and make sure they vote. And if they need help with the voting, I can help you. But you don't see that as much in the inner city. I'm seeing a little bit more in today's world as more people are getting involved. I know I have people on the stream that are getting more involved, which is awesome. But people on the right need to do more of that. They need to stop this idea of like, if they just leave me alone, if I just want to be left alone. That whole left alone mentality has gotten us where we are right now. It's almost as if decriminalizing crime does harm in the inner city. Yeah, exactly. I know. They have their limits of people arresting people for how much they steal. The types of crimes. If they decide to go on the run, they don't chase them anymore. I mean, there are like so many new laws that just encourage criminals. Leftists turning states into hellholes and nobody bats an eye. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. You have all these incredibly dangerous cities in America, and people on the left are talking about DeSantis and Trump. And you're just like, there are actual real horrors going on every day in some of these inner cities with open air drug use and crime and murders and stuff like that. And no one cares. No one even brings it up. And if you do bring it up, it's like, oh, here's just a perfect talking point for a right-wing white guy. It's like, no. How about I just look at these people as humans, and I feel like they need help, and I need to speak up in this moment, not just roll over and say, yeah, let's actually talk about Trump and DeSantis. Like, no, there are real people that are affected. Build back better. Exactly. Not only that too, when we talk about inflation and stuff like that, how the corporate media mocks people about inflation and recession, housing prices and stuff like that. They just laugh about it while you and I are affected every single day. I constantly say, you need to remember that these people do not care about you. They just care about their narrative and their message and which they were told to say. And that's all that matters to them. Okay, let's take a break from insanity. And I don't know if you saw this video being passed around today, but this video was freaking amazing. This guy jumped out of 25,000 feet with no parachute and landed in a net.
Jumpers are away, jumpers are off.
Would you do this? Would you do this?
Now he's practicing the flip. That's how he'll have to land. He'll have to land on his back.
Just the idea of jumping out of an airplane with no parachute.
At 18,000 feet, the oxygen mask will come off. That will be from his cousin, Andy Farrington, who will be closest to him.
Is there any money in it for me? Exactly. I've jumped out of an airplane once, and I encourage everyone to do it. It's one of the best experiences of your life, but I've never done it without a parachute.
There goes the oxygen mask. Now at 12,000 feet, he'll hear a beep in his helmet. That will tell him he's halfway home.
That is crazy. 25,000 feet. You have to be so ready to die at this point, or just so hopped up on adrenaline.
Momentarily, we'll see his jump team pull their chutes.
Battle of the Plantar Fields.
Luke
splenometer on the left.
is all alone for the rest of the way. At 6,000 feet,
I'd probably do it, but
another beep in his helmet.
But only under any circumstance.
There goes the chutes. Luke is on his own.
Oh, oh God, that would be so scary right there. Just being on your own. You're like, if you miss it, you're done, bro. You're done.
And the crowd on the ground looking up, they have a visual on him right now.
I don't even feel like that's very big.
He's in.
Starting. Only if the net.
And he's kicking and moving.
Dude, people are crazy, man. People are nuts. He's like,
just witnessed history being made.
Oh, people are nuts, man. I want to jump at I want to jump on an airplane, not just any height, 25,000 feet. So I have to wear oxygen masks because it's so high. There's not enough oxygen, and I'm going to jump into a net. Like, what the frick? Yeah, exactly. The fact check to make sure the net is straight. Like, the kind of trust it takes to be like, yeah, that net's got me if I land in it. God, scary as crap. Take that, Rain of Fire. Yeah. Speaking of Rain of Fire, are you guys excited about? I don't do anything with that fact checker's approval. You know, Giovanni, I don't think through problems by myself without a fact checker fact-checking for me because I don't know how to read. It's just a tough thing that I've never figured out. I just don't know it, and I need somebody to tell me what's right and wrong. Okay. Are you guys excited about the She-Hulk? IMDb posted this tweet about She-Hulk, and I quote, "Ahem. Say it louder for the people in the back, girlfriend." And once you watch this, clip of She-Hulk, you'll see why nobody who's actually into comics or good movies in general is excited about this movie. This looks like the absolute trash of the trash, but I don't understand why Disney is doubling down worse and worse. They're going to lose so much money, and they're going to be like, I don't know how much money they need to lose to change their whole ideology. Apparently, a lot of these people that work in the corporations and higher up are, like we talked about like months ago, as they said that they're going to implement LGBTQ gender identity stuff in all their movies from here on out, and people just need to get over it. It's like they try to place it in everything. But listen to this clip from She-Hulk, and you're going to see why this movie's going to totally flop, and no one's excited about it. It's just gross. I hate when like movies try to take like cultural issues of the day and just like use words word for word. But here we go. Here she is, She-Hulk herself.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it.
An incompetent man. What a freaking jerk, dude. When freaking idiots try to tell me my expertise, I don't listen to that.
Pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. Here's the thing.
It's so dumb. Oh God, it's so far leftist and so silly. I have to put up with so much more crap than you because you're a male. You get away with everything. You get everything. I feel like I need to hear this again. It's just so dumb. I might watch it just to laugh. Bullcrap, exactly.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
My first thought is, I can't wait to watch this movie. It's going to be gripping. God, sounds like such a complaining. Okay, yeah, we'll give you the superpowers because you complained about it the most. Remember the parade scene from Batman in '89? Those 5 minutes were infinitely more entertaining than any crap that Marvel has released in the last 5 years. Yeah, that was a pretty amazing scene. I do like some of the old Thor movies, but yeah, I think a lot of it's trash for sure. Okay, I'm waiting for the period joke. Oh, are you ready, Papa? Here we go. Here's a clip from She-Hulk that I found clipped up. And you would say, oh, it's just a woman. Nothing's too serious. Like, oh, wow, she seems really nice and cool. Oh, but what's on her bookshelf? Badass woman. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I'm not just arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right. That freaking... how do you say I'm a jerk without saying I'm a jerk? And I don't want to say the B word because that's just bad. See you later, litigator, badass women. I'm pretty sure that's Kamala Harris in the back or Michelle Obama behind Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Business law. But yeah, no indoctrination whatsoever. It's not a bunch of propaganda they're pushing on kids and the average 13-year-old. It's just good old-fashioned storytelling. You know, it's not that these people can't create anything new. They just take everything you like and then put their crap spin on it, and you have to deal with it because, well, you're a fan. They're just going to lose so many more fans. They're going to lose, like, people are rebelling. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy named Rippaverse, but that guy has created his own comic book set because he's tired of how trash the industry is, and I love that. You should check out Rippaverse if you're into comic books. But this clip right here just sums up everything I hate about most modern movies in general. And because it's like, was this necessary? Is this like a cool, empowering story of a woman becoming She-Hulk? No, it's she's putting her ideology in her. I don't really have much to say. It's just so silly. I'm waiting for the feminist propaganda. Exactly. I wouldn't even say it's feminist. I would say far leftist. I think feminists have been passed. You know, people on the left have taken feminist ideology and taken it even farther extreme. That's why you see people like J.K. Rowling being outed as like a racist or transphobe and stuff like that, and they're like, get away from her work, but let's keep putting Harry Potter stuff because it sells, but we're going to take her work and then flip it to make it to our own ideology, to have right think, because that's more important than actually being creative and using authors' intended use of their stuff, just like you're seeing with the Lord of the Rings stuff. I don't know if you're keeping track of what's going on with Lord of the Rings, but everybody is not excited about that, including me. I will watch it eventually because I love Lord of the Rings, but I'm just probably going to be dreading it the entire time. Stanley would be turning in his grave. I sure hope so, because I can't stand this leftist ideology crap that just gets like thrown into the most random scenes, and you're like, was this little speech, did that really need to happen? How she can control her anger. And I love how Bruce Hulk is just sitting there like, you're so right, girlfriend. I am a compliant alpha male leftist. Now that's an oxymoron. I feel the same way about House of the Dragon. Oh, yeah, sure. But that clip right there, and that picture, it's just too much. But speaking of movies coming out, are you guys excited about My Son Hunter? My Son Hunter, directed by Robert Davi, starring Laurence Fox, and you guessed it, Gina Carano. Here's a little the preview for the movie. I think it comes out September 7th. I just looked it up, but here's the preview for My Son Hunter. And as you can assume, it's about Hunter Biden.
Good boy.
There it is. Very short clip. Very short clip. Breitbart is announcing its finest foray as scripted entertainment with My Son Hunter. Robert Davi, shut up and take the credit card pin is 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly. Hunter Biden vs. Predator. Now that's a movie I want to watch. Hunter Biden vs. Predator. But Gina Carano is going to be in it, and I don't know if you caught like all the scenes of Gina Carano's like hair being sniffed by, I guess, Biden. Wait, where is it? It's very quick. I don't know where it is. Maybe there's like pictures. Gina Carano. Should be exciting. I'm excited. Oh, here's some pictures. There's Hunter with his strippers. You better pay up. Of course, there's what's his face. I forget his name. Oh, yeah. And then there's Gina. There is Davi. Oh, here we go. Here's Hunter. I mean, here's Biden sniffing a woman's hair. God, it's so sketch. Hopefully this is good. I'm really hoping this isn't like crap. I hope it's good because his story should be all over news agencies as they pretend like it's not a thing. All right, next story. Here we go. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter Boston. Monica Cannon Grant, who's Boston's nonprofit, was shut down after after her and her husband blew thousands in charity donations on dinner, vacations, and nail salon trips. Nail salon trips for Black Lives Matter. And vacations and dinners. Asked court to allow her to apply for unemployment benefits. If that's not the most incredible thing I've ever heard, I don't know what is. I remember when I first heard Black Lives Matter coming out, I was like, this is a perfect grift to get away with as much money as you possibly can. And they did it. Again, yes. Monica Cannon, 41, whose anti-violence charity was closed last month amid a fraud case against her, is requesting to apply for unemployment benefits. A Black Lives Matter activist who headed Violence in Boston and her husband, Clark Grant, who's 38 years old, were federally indicted in March for allegedly soliciting millions in donations. Conditions for her release state that she is not to apply for or felicitate an application of any unemployment benefits unless approved by the court. But in a new filing this week, Cannon Grant's attorney states that Cannon Grant is currently unemployed and would like to apply for unemployment benefits. God. I stole money from a bunch of people and used it for vacation, dinners, and nail salon trips because why not? Don't just invest in property like the other people in Black Lives Matter. Go on vacations and dinners and nail salon trips. Flaunt that money, that new money you just got. That's the smart thing to do. Great job, Monica Cannon Grant. Pleaded not guilty on charges on 18 court indictment that was handed down early in March, including wire fraud conspiracy. There she is. She seems like a peach. Weren't those guys who overpriced dinners at Bubba Gump Shrimp? Yeah, exactly. There she is. There she is. Oh, my God. Triple vax, triple boosted. Monica Grant. There she is walking away. Oh, I like all these people pretending like, oh, is that her house? The couple also lied to the mortgage lender by saying Violence in Boston's assets were their own to help pay for fees and closing costs. Pictured here are Grant's Taunton. This is her home. Amazing. Oh, is this? Oh, wow. Speaking Forum. 2022. Those who in America. 2021. Boston's 100 most influential people. $50 personalized video message. Can't wait to send that. Black Lives Matter, Ukraine War, just methods to funnel money into individual pockets. Certainly seems that way. That TV is bigger than my basement. I know that TV is huge. That's probably like $8K. $900 for a public speaking forum. And $1,500 for public appearance. Man, I need to start charging people for public appearance. But I would charge like $20. Oh, man. Oh, incredible. I love how you're not allowed to critique some of these pillars on the left because they are just good down deep inside. Speaking of good down deep inside, we have Deshaun Watson today. Browns' Jimmy Haslam said, of course, Deshaun Watson got a second chance because he's a star QB. See, I was told in America that all black men get unfair treatment. And yet, we have Deshaun Watson getting away with whatever. Huh. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, here we go.
You know, here's what I think is that I think in this country,
this is as loud as I can get it.
In the world, people deserve second chances. Okay, I really think that, and I struggle a little bit. Is he never supposed to play again? Is he never supposed to be part of society? Does he get no chance to rehabilitate himself? And that's what we're going to do, okay? And you could say, well, that's because he's a star quarterback. Well, of course, but if he was Joe Smith, he wouldn't be on the headlines every day. So we think people deserve a second chance. We gave Kareem Hunt a second chance, okay? And that's worked out pretty well, okay? We're hoping this will work out, and we have strong belief it will. That doesn't mean we don't have empathy for people affected, and we will continue to do so. But we strongly believe people deserve a second chance. We believe Deshaun Watson deserves a second chance.
He was booed loudly in Jacksonville.
Do you think Deshaun Watson deserves a second chance? Or should he be taken away forever?
Is that, I think...
I love that he's like, of course you guys are talking about him because he's a star quarterback. All leftists use the same hairdresser. Yeah, and they also eat pizza at the same place. I don't know what I think about this whole Deshaun Watson thing. It's definitely sketchy as crap. But it's just another, another indication, another thing to remember that there are rules for thee and not for me. Like, if you are in politics, if you are a celebrity, if you are in the news, if you are, in sports, you can get away with whatever. But if you are somebody like you and me, you can't. Someone like you and me, we'd be sued to oblivion. We'd probably be in jail for a long time, and we'd be ousted in society. But these guys make millions of dollars, and they get extra paychecks. So, I can't stand listening to other sports people in sports talking about how unfair it is to be a black man in America. And I'm like, not for you, dude. Especially not for you. You can get away with whatever you want. You when LeBron James talks about it, it's like, shut up. If you got pulled over for speeding, I feel like if you're on your way to a game, I'm sure a cop would be like, how many buckets are you going to score today? And I'll let you go. Like, what the heck? It is complete double standards, but that's how it is. And here's some exclusive news. DeSantis has a playbook outlines Florida freedom agenda. Governor Ron DeSantis' re-election campaign announced the DeSantis Playbook on Thursday, a guide to the governor's freedom agenda focused on law and order, parental rights, economic policy, and the environment. What? The agenda includes putting kids first and protecting parents' rights, according to the playbook, which emphasizes the importance of keeping communities safe, keeping Florida's environment beautiful. I thought Republicans hated the environment. They want to drink tar in their water every day. They don't care about anything. Which emphasizes the importance of keeping communities safe, keeping Florida's environment beautiful, securing the state's elections. Oh my God, conspiracy much? Standing up for moms and families. Oh, what, terrorists? Is that what you're saying? Supporting veterans and an active duty military, and fighting for special interests. Oh, fighting special interests. Sorry. Freedom Agenda. I'm sorry, but that's a terrible title. It is a terrible title. Operation Freedom Agenda. It's Operation Freedom. At Mamas for DeSantis earlier this month in Miami, the First Lady, Cassie DeSantis, described the playbook as a digestible format. It's easily digestible. No fiber required for this bad boy. To say that both of her husband's accomplishment in Florida's freedom agenda, she urged the ladies at the campaign event to host book clubs and go through the agenda. God, okay, that's just too much. Hey girls, let's get together. We're gonna host some book clubs about the freedom agenda, which concludes a like I enjoy politics and culture and stuff like that, but there has to be a line. It's like you can't talk about it all the time. It'll just drive you nuts. That's why I throw in ridiculous videos here and there on this podcast, because even I need a break in my own show from the absurdity that is culture and politics. The governor is unwavering in his leadership for freedom first policies, all of which are detailed in the DeSantis Playbook. It's like John Madden, said Casey DeSantis, who launched the Mamas for DeSantis movement in June. We look forward to sharing this with Floridians as a resource for what it means to govern with freedom at the top of mind. At the top of mind. Okay. I encourage all Floridians to host a playbook club. to discuss the importance of good policy, strong leadership, and the stakes of November elections, he added, describing the governor's freedom agenda and model of freedom. Okay, I'm done reading about this. Will you be buying the DeSantis Playbook? Operation DeSantis. Big fan of Ron DeSantis, but this is a little corny. I will not be reading this because I don't need a book about this. Is this like, this has got to be going to his campaign fund, right? I mean, why else would this go? Let's see. No, it doesn't say anything about that. I misread that. I thought it said Playboy Club. That would have been way more interesting. 1. Join the Playboy Club for Ron DeSantis' new playbook, where Ron DeSantis risks it all and takes it all off for the next election.
You're crazy as hell.
I know, Medea. Shut up. All right. Let's get an update on our friend, my friend, your friend, nobody's friend. Salman Rushdie, attacker, is actually denied bail. Good. So many of these people are just like giving out, oh, yeah, you can get out of jail. I know you just stabbed somebody, but God, get out there and try again.
Just into us in the last hour, the man indicted for attacking author Salman Rushdie was just in court for his arraignment, with his lawyer confirming
he looks like a nice guy,
and the judge denied bail. NBC News correspondent Ron Allen is joining us with more on the case. Ron, what else do we know about the charges, what's next, and any other news about Rushdie's recovery?
Well, the charges are attempted second-degree murder and second-degree assault. The man's name is Hadi Matar. He's 24 years old, from New Jersey. What we don't know is why he allegedly did this. There was...
Oh, God. I like when they, like, of course, because of the situation, they are slow to judgment. But if, you know, if it's a white man, it's like, obviously a racist. Everyone knows why he was attacked. But yeah, we'll just pretend like we have no idea. They still do striped prison uniforms, eh?
Some sense of that in an interview that he actually did with the New York Post a couple of days ago, where he said things like he didn't like this person, Salman Rushdie. He is someone who has attacked Islam. He said that he
okay, so we can put 2 and 2 together.
Rushdie would survive the attack, and he said that he respects Iran's religious leaders, but he didn't say whether or not he was inspired by this fatwa that was.
he said he hated him. He's a big fan of Iran. But we just can't figure out why he did it. I can't put 2 and 1 and 3 together. I just can't figure out that equals 6. I don't know how to do it. You don't know how to do it. But we will take our time and slowly try to figure this one out. And hopefully the story will go away, because it's an attack on freedom of speech, and we're not big advocates on freedom of speech anyway, so let the boy just do what he's got to do.
Was issued in Iran some 30 years ago to kill Rushdie because of this book, The Satanic Verses, which some in the Muslim world feel is an insult to the Prophet Muhammad.
Oh no, you got insulted? Oh my God. Jeez. God. Oh, then that justifies it. Yeah, because someone like, you know, me who's from the Christian faith, there hasn't been anything that has mocked my faith. Nothing. But, yeah. Guy, do not make fun of Muslims.
So unclear whether there's a connection to that. Iran has denied any involvement. They have said that Rushdie is to blame for this himself, something that the United States has called disgusting and despicable. And as for the writer's condition, he is still hospitalized. He has...
Did he just say the United States has called it disgusting and despicable? Who is the United States? I want to talk to him. Or her. Sorry. Or they. They, them.
Very severe life-altering injuries, his family has said. He may lose an eye. He has nerve damage in an arm. He was stabbed about a dozen times, we understand, by this man, allegedly with a knife.
I hope he, when he's released from the hospital, he just goes nuts and just starts writing so much about their faith and just going to town. And if the words is violence, then consider me on our source.
Audience members at this event raced to Rushdie's aid and tackled the man until he was.
You'll find the guy
kill
you last.
So again, he's facing second-degree attempted murder, second-degree assault charges, which carry up to 25 years in prison if convicted. The case was continued.
All right, I just got 100 messages today on the chat. Thanks, guys, for chatting with me. It means a lot to me. Little pump up. Very exciting. I've been going live a lot more recently, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me.
And he has pled not guilty, and we still don't know
because of my
why
people.
He did this, and if there is some connection to some extremists somewhere else around the world.
It's so obvious why he did it. Why? When it's obvious, why beat around the bush? I mean, why? Because it doesn't fit your narrative, you know? Like, it just... this is why people don't trust you guys. All right. This is my last clip. Before I gotta go squat a bunch of heavy weights. So stupid. All right. I saw this clip today. Somebody put together this clip from the Wendy show, and it is so funny, talking about how unbelievably savage the camera guy is. Anytime she talks about like ugly people or anything, it's almost like he points them out. But watch this. It is literally one of the funniest videos I've seen on the internet in a long time.
Even a Mrs. Doubtfire type person. She's 27? Uh-huh. Okay, that's a hard 27. Anyway, boy, those Kennedys have some strong teeth, don't they? Anyway, boy, those Kennedys have some strong teeth, don't they?
Look at those teeth. Okay, keep going.
Okay, Gia, who I think is an odd beauty. I think that she's a beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? All my girls are pretty. In case you haven't noticed. Okay. Okay, you're not models, neither am I. We don't care.
The camera guy violated this lady's rights. I know. It just gets worse and worse.
In LA, guest houses are fabulous. They've got heat.
Look at her hair. It's all frizzed out from the heat.
If you got real hair, make some noise. Like, yeah. And I know that the big elephant in the room.
The gates of hell is lined with Wendy Williams clips. Wait, what did she say?
That the big elephant in the room.
The big elephant in the room?
And I know that the big elephant in the room.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm starting to see why people watch the show. At least he's laughing. Getting called big elephant and then being put on live TV like that.
Big elephant in the room.
Yeah, Wendy Williams would be silent.
We have King Kong, not the remakes, but the one with Fay Ray back in the day, where, you know,
just put an Asian for King Kong.
He's chained to the cement, and then also
it was like King Kong versus Godzilla.
Put in a cage. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, and others, this... They walk, men don't sashay. Well, some do. You'll meet them later in the show.
Oh, she's making fun of gay guys. It's like, I had no idea how savage this show was. I had no idea. I get it. I get it now. It's so ridiculous. Oh. I love how people just took it like a... Oh, man. This world's crazy. Oh, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with me today. It means a lot to me. I hope you guys have a freaking great night. I will go live again tomorrow, so look out for that. Be sure to come hang out with us. Me. This is a one-man show. I put it all together myself. I produce it all myself. I find all the clips myself. and I pray that my computer and my cell phone work to make this happen. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you guys have a freaking fantastic day. Tell people about the Derek O'Shea Show. Let people know about the show. The only way it grows through people like you, because the algorithm doesn't give a crap about me. Nicely done, sir. I appreciate that, Papa. That means a lot to me. I'm glad to see you in this chat. Giovanni, Papa, I appreciate you guys so much. Special shout out. You guys were blowing up my chat today, and it means a lot to me. It makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself and all that good stuff. Thanks for the laughs. Hey, I appreciate that. Those of you that are watching this and aren't chatting, don't be afraid to chat. I probably will never mock you. But right now, I'm just so you know, if during the election season, YouTube usually ramps up their censorship. And so if you ever don't see me live at night, be sure to just go on to Rumble and double check, because I'm live right now on Rumble as well. It's more of a backup. I wish their chat integrated with my chat system, because I have like all my chats together, but Rumble doesn't work like that. I don't understand that. Well, hopefully they get that fixed sooner than later. But use Rumble as a backup just in case. Next time, drink a Monster for that Alex Jones energy, dude. You know, Alex Jones was probably drunk during that clip, right? I know he has like a drinking problem, but like that was like crazy. I feel like my neighbors would hear me if I started snarling in the microphone and screaming like that too. They'd probably be like, "Okay, I'm calling the cops on him. I'm gonna do it. I don't know what's going on in that room. I'm calling the cops on him right now. I can't take it anymore." But I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good night. Tell your friends and family about the Derek O'Shea Show. I will see you again tomorrow. I freaking love you guys. Bye.